When you're buying a new pair of marine binoculars, how do you know which to choose? Well, there are a couple important features to look for. First and foremost, obviously, they need to be waterproof. Secondly, make sure you pick a pair that's nitrogen filled. This purges all the air from the inside so they don't fog up when you have dramatic temperature changes. Third, you can consider things like built-in compasses and rangefinders. Now, these used to be really important, but with today's modern marine electronics, truth be told, it's pretty easy to figure out which direction you're going in and which direction you're looking in. If you have a small skiff, say it doesn't have a chart plotter, well, then maybe you should consider features like those. The next feature you'll want to look for, and this is important, folks, is image stabilization. Now, binoculars can stabilize an image that you see through them in a couple of different ways. In some cases it's done electronically, in other cases there's sort of an internal gyroscope. In some cases there are floating prisms that don't move as your hands move or as your boat moves in the waves. Now, this does more for you than just hold the image steady. This allows a much more significant magnification of the image. Your average marine binoculars can only be about 7 times in magnification, but when you have image stabilization, you can go to 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, even 18 times magnification. Why? Well, with that 7 times magnification, as soon as a boat starts to move or you start to shake, whatever you're trying to focus in on just moves out of your field of view. With image stabilization, you can really nail it in close, and this allows that much greater magnification, which has a pretty tremendous effect. A good example. These are my Fujinon Techno Stabies. This is my personal pair. I use them out on the water all the time. They allow 14 times magnification, and I tell you what, I love these things. You know, with a normal pair of binoculars, you can see, say, a few seagulls working on breaking fish from, a few miles away. With these, I can see them from 7 or 8 miles away. That blob way off in the distance, I can focus right in, and I know it's a boat. Can't say enough about how incredible image stabilization really is. But there are some key points to remember. The first is the bigger these get, generally speaking, the heavier they get. And believe me, after a full day of fishing, when you're up here scanning the horizon over and over again, that has an effect. These feel heavy after a while. The next thing to consider is where the battery compartment is. On this particular unit, it's right here. It's built into the binoculars, and when you pop it off, you can access the batteries pretty easily, but more importantly, there's a rubber gasket around there. That makes these nice and waterproof. Some similar image stabilized binoculars have a little battery case right here. It's external. It's on the strap, or it might be down here on the bottom or on the side. The problem there is you have wires that go in and out of the binocular, and that leaves the potential for damage. Well, yes, it is true. You do have to pay for that image stabilization. While your normal pair of marine binoculars might cost a few $100, a nice quality image stabilized pair is going to cost you more like $1,000. But believe me, in the long run, that is money well spent.